So guys, we're gonna make a quick tier list on the characters that coming in 3.4. It's gonna be more like a character that you should focus on. Of course, in the end, this is it's just a small tier list. You don't have to take this serious. Just pull on the characters that you like and you enjoy. It's just that simple. It's a gacha game. Just pull who you like. But for those who want to make their account slightly better and they're in still doubt who to go after, this tier list might help them a little bit. So there's not no crazy deals, just saying best characters and low investment characters and a specialist and high investment. So it's just gonna be something like that. Simply some characters will be great with practically no investment, and some characters are good but you just need some high investment for them to work. So let's look into all the characters that are technically confirmed to come, except these healers. I mean, these harmony units, these trio of harmony units, I'm not sure they're gonna come, but there's a high probability they will drop in the next patch. So if they do, then you guys are in trouble. So yeah. So first, let's go and put the 2 HP scaling units that will drop. They're getting buffed technically. Both of them gonna be in the high investment category. Simply Blade and Jingliu are incredible. I'm gonna be honest, they're really good units. They got the buff they deserved, but I still do think they're high investment. Really high investment when it comes to their teams, especially when it comes to their teams. You're kind of forced to use 2 characters mainly, and the characters being Tribi and Hyacinth, because they're the characters that have really good HP buffing. Especially Hyacinth, you kind of need her with her signature for Blade and Jingliu to work perfectly or suboptimally. If you don't have Hyacinth without the signature, then Jingliu is not going to have high uptime, and then Blade won't have the best follow-up attack frequency, so you're going to be missing out on a lot of damage simply. So you're kind of forced to use these 2 characters. It's kind of cringe, but that's how Hoyoverse wants, and kind of sucks that Jingliu is a HP scaling character now. Because of that, she will be kind of limited to units. On top of that, you will probably use Sunday as your 3rd character, or maybe someone like Silver Wolf as your debuff option, or somebody like that. But you're technically locked in with Silver Wolf and not Silver Wolf, with Tribi and Hyacinth 100% using these. And as you know, they're 5 stars, and Hyacinth with our signature is kind of gonna be a bum. So yeah, and there aren't many 4-star alternate option for these guys to work. So yeah, in that regards, you will be in trouble. Of course, you can swap the Sunday with someone like Bronya or even Sparkle, I guess. You can use some action at burns forward characters. Even RMC is a good option, but you are still limited to using Tribi and Hyacinth with signature for the best optimal DPS, and I think that's a little bit sad, but it is what it is. Next one, I'm going to be putting Kafka. She's going to be in the specialist category now, because they kind of reworked as the dot sub DPS now, supporting sub DPS dot specialist. So you can only pull Kafka if you only care about the dot archetype. If you don't care about dot, you're not gonna pull her first thing. And she's now more like a support, so you don't need to care about her being more damage. You don't need to anything. And her buff will technically come in 3.5 with Hislens. She's gonna be the best support sub DPS. She's gonna be the best buddy for Hislens technically. And with Hislens, she's gonna be great. But again, she is more like a specialist, so always remember that if you don't care about Dot, don't pull her. But if you care about her, pull her. And Hislens, the very next patch, because with these 2, you'll probably have decent time in MOCs, at least for 2 or 3 patches, because for God knows when they're going to give the next, Dot character, because for some reason Dot only gets 1 buff every single freaking year, so yeah. Now, let's just be honest, Silver Wolf's probably the best unit that's getting the buff. When it comes to the buff units, she's the best, and it's not even close how good she is compared to these 3. Like, compared to these 3, she's far better, and in my opinion, she's gonna be she's gonna be the best debuffer when it comes to universally, because she can literally go into teams that she's not supposed to go into, and she works. Outside the Herda teams, I think you can squeeze her into almost every team. Maybe in follow-up teams, she's kind of useless, but you can use her on the break team, you can use her on hypercarry teams, you can use her on the Akron teams, E0 Akron teams, because I think at E2, I think Jiachu is still the better one. But overall, I think she's a really great unit. You will have really good value. And if you already own her, great. Really good unit now. Pretty solid.
But if you don't own her and if you're a new player, you should keep an eye on her. I won't say she's like a must-have, but she's solid. I think she's best. She's really good, and yeah, I think she's the best unit that got the buff, at least in my opinion. Now let's go into the Fate units. Archer, I mean, he's free, so he's technically low investment, right? You don't need to spend your best resource being your Jades, so technically you get him for free. Just build him. I mean, he's free. Just build him. And if you have someone like Sparkle, really solid. I think his best team will be with Sparkle, someone like Silver Wolf or any debuffer, like even maybe the Cypher will work. But I think Silver Wolf is the best one just because of the, rest reduction, elemental rest reduction, defense reduction, and she can also reduce the damage. I mean, she can also reduce the attack or even maybe reduce even more defense with her bugs and everything. So I think for Archer, I think Silver Wolf will be a really good support. And you can also use someone like Gallagher as your sustain because Gallagher generates so much skill points. Really good. The only reason I'm putting him as a low investment is mainly because of him being just free. Otherwise, he does need a high relic investment in my opinion. Getting a solid quantum set is not easy. Even as a veteran, I don't have a solid quantum set. I have no quantum set that's like pretty good. Unless you've been, literally farming the quantum set for a whole year, you might not have a decent quantum set. And as a new player, I would never recommend to farm the quantum set. So, yeah. But you can also, I think you can use the Scholar set on him. It's kind of decent. It's not the best, but it's like okay-ish in my opinion. So, yeah. Now, Saber, I didn't know where to put her. I don't think she's like super high investment like these two. She can use some supports and still work. You know what? I'm going to put her in the specialist. I don't think she's low investment at the same time. So for Saber, you 100% need one character, and that character is going to be Sunday. You're kind of tied to Sunday because I think she has one of the highest ER requirement. Even though her kit does provide a lot of ways to get ER, you still need someone like Sunday and other harmony units or other units that can spam ult. It's like the Herda situation, but you need harmony units that can buff and also ult a lot so she can get her ult fast and her buff stacks fast. So she can do big PP damage. But at the same time, I don't think she's as restrictive like Blade and Jingle Yu. She can use other units. Like you can use, I think the main one being Sunday, but you can also use RMC. What's her name? Robin, Tribby is also pretty decent because of the buff. You can use Silver Wolf, but I'm not gonna say it's like the best option. But you can use Hua as a sustainer. You can use Gallagher with QPQ. You have a lot of choices for her. But I think she is kind of tied to units that give her a lot of ER, like Tingyon, Sunday being the main ones. So if you have them, I think her value is like really high. But she's not like a specialist in my opinion. You can get her if you have these units. Her best team will be like something like a Sunday, Robin, and with Hua. But like I said, you have alternate option when it comes to Blade and Jingle. Your alternate options are a little bit lesser, let's just be honest, if you want to have the highest optimal damage and everything. Finon is going to be a low investment. Let's just be honest, he's easy to use. All you need is 3 buffers and you're good to go. You don't need a sustainer for him as of the moment because he pretty much solos the whole thing. As long as you have 3 really good harmony units, and good thing, there are some good 4-star harmony units that can work really well. And I don't think his relics are that hard to farm either. It's pretty easy. Of course, you can always say giving him a signature will make him better, but I think he's pretty low investment. Personally, comparing to all of these DPS, I think he's the one DPS that's like can run a whole team of free units. I mean 4 stars like Tingyon, Yukong, and maybe RMC. Okay, RMC is like 5-star, but still can run and probably get a 0 cycle. Probably. I'm saying probably because I think he can only get a 0 cycle on his MOC, but outside his MOC maybe he can do a 2 or 3 cycle. As long as you build your harmony units with a decent amount of health, he can pop off. Of course, he also has his best in slots like Sunday being the best option for now, because in the future he should get Siritra that will make him even better. But for the moment he can clear with 4 stars, and I think it's pretty low investment. Of course he's kind of clunky, but in the end his animation, him being able to use 4 stars and still able to clear, and being the best unit for no sustain, I think just makes him a really good pick. Is he on the same tier as Castros? Probably not, because Hyacinth makes Castros so much more stronger. We probably need to wait for Siritra to drop. Then we will know, if he's like top tier or not. But I think, again, single dash blast enemies, he's really good. Of course, outside that, on pure fiction, both Archer and, almost every single DPS here sucks on pure fiction mode. Okay, let's just be honest. Maybe Blade and Kafka can do decent, but the rest of them all suck on pure fiction. It's just the truth. Still can do nice now because of our AoE, but yeah. Now the trio of the Harmony trio. Unfortunately, it's not confirmed they're going to come on next patch, but I think they have a high chance of coming. If they do come, Sparkle is going to be on the specialist. She's just good with units that have high skill requirement. I mean SP requirement like Archer and Dang Hang, Inhibitor Lune, right? Outside that, she is not that versatile in my opinion, but in those specialist moments, she is really good. Like Archer for that case, she is really good with the Archer. Like really. She changes Archer from great to even greater. Okay, even though Archer got nerfed, it sucks, but it is what it is. Simply, she's more tied towards these units that have high SP hungry. Otherwise, she's like not that needed. And if you don't like Archer, maybe for some reason, maybe you don't need to care. For me, I will probably use Archer with Sunday, so because I don't have Sparkle. Okay, it's just that. Now these two is just they're better. They're just too good. You can slot them in almost in every team except debuff teams like Akron teams. Even on Akron team, probably E2 Akrons, some people do run Sunday and Tribi, so yeah, let's just be honest, they're just very versatile. These two, I actually maybe made a tier list for these two alone, saying they're just too universally good. Sunday Tribi, just on another league, like you can almost put them on every single mode, on every single team, right? Okay, maybe not Sunday. Sunday on a dot team doesn't sound good. But Tribi, yeah, I think I should have made a different tier list for Tribi, saying, okay, the almighty goddess of being the best at everything. Because you can put Tribi on every single team and get value because of how Tribi works. You can put Tribi on the follow-up team, she'll give you value. You can put her on a DOT team, she'll give you value. You can put her on a break team, she'll give you value. You can put her on a hyper carry team, she'll give you value. You can put her on a freaking HP scaling team. She's literally the best in slot support for HP scaling team. She's just on another league. I should have made a tier list for her alone, but I'm not gonna make another one, so yeah, Tribi should be your highest priority if you don't own her. And even Tribi is broken, so for the current meta, because of how HP and Harmony units are just way stronger than someone like Silverwolf being a debuffer, Tribi is just the best value. If you can get Tribi, it's just how it is. But don't sleep on Silverwolf because she also goes into teams where Tribi does incredible and does decent. Like on a Castro's team, for some reason, yeah, Silverwolf does decent. And it should not be a thing, but it is a thing, so yeah. But overall, if 3.4 does have Tribi, your eye should be all locked in for her because she's that good. Unless Suradra comes in 3.5 and just nukes all of these supports for some reason, I don't think there's going to be a possibility. I think Tribi will be the best support and best investment for your account if you want to make your account better. So yeah, always keep an eye on for Tribi, and yeah. Like I said, don't take this tier list too serious. It's just my opinion, what I think about these characters from the V5 changes from the beta. So these things could change in the end, okay? So always take everything with a grain of salt, and see you guys on the next video. Bye. Have a great day. Be safe out there, guys. Love you all.